Good, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our feature concert for the Sydney Folk Festival at Home. It's so great for you all to be here. Firstly, this evening, I want to start off with an acknowledgement of country. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional landowners on the land of which we're meeting tonight. Normally, we would be in the centre of Sydney, on the land of the Gadigal people, and I know from doing some research that their boundary was Port Jackson, which was the home of the 50th Folk Festival. So I see a great connection between us and the Gadigal people. Tonight I'm coming to you from the land of the Camaragal people, so I really thank them for their hospitality and having us here. Welcome to our feature concert and Folk Festival at Home. It's so great. I'm so delighted to be able to introduce to you tonight our first feature act. They're coming to you from Bellingen. I'd like to introduce you to the wonderful duo called Sage.
Hello, everybody.
Thanks for joining us. This is our first time playing at Sydney Folk Festival. So exciting. And our first ever Zoom concert as well.
So thanks for joining us. Our name is Sage. It's pronounced like the herb, but we do spell it differently. So we have this sign here, handmade by Joe. He's very proud of it. So I'll just tuck that over here. And thank you for that beautiful acknowledgement, Jane. Before we begin, we would love to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we're gathered, the Gumbaynggirr people, and pay our respects to the elders past, present, and emerging.
This first song that we're going to play is called The Valley, and it's about when you're at a crossroads in your life and trying to decide which path is going to serve you best.
steeper winds. Let go of the burdens, leave them behind. I've walked the line for a time, cold leaves fall now. I must decide, the road is hard, steeper winds. Let go of the burdens, leave them behind. The mountains cold, come and dry. Sing from your fire and sparks will fly. These gifts you hold, like bird and fly, like the thunder on darkest night. Jump like the thunder, jump like the thunder, jump like the thunder, jump like the thunder. Cold leaves fall now, I must decide, the road is hard. Let go of the burdens, leave them behind. The mountains fall. Sing from your fire, and sparks will fly. These gifts you hold, drum like the thunder on darkest night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, just imagine there are thousands clapping. You may have heard quite a few sounds in that song that you can't see. So Joe's doing most of those sounds. So I'll hand it over to him to explain.
I have a kick drum behind me, and I have a tambourine and a seed rattle down on the floor. And then, yeah, we have...
Oh, sorry. This is very intimate.
This is Shantae's guitar.
In the face.
and Shantae has a floor tom as well.
So it's all very like a tricky business trying to cram into the screen and fit everything in.
It reminds me of a number of years ago we did a little busking tour around Europe and we only had one mic and
it was cozy too.
It was cozy as well, so good memories though.
We hope we're all coming through all right to you all. This is new to us, doing this whole online thing. But this next song is called Come As You Are, and it's about learning how to love yourself. We can often be very hard on ourselves and focus on all the things we don't like far too much, but this song is a reminder to show up for yourself in all of your layers and to simply come as you are and know that is enough. Message is perfect.
We normally actually do a sing-along with this one, so if you've seen us before, feel free to...
Even if you haven't seen us before, it's very repetitive and nobody can hear you, so just go for it. The sing-along section is later in the song, it's in the bridge, and the lyrics are, I will not let you down.
So you can, if you're listening in with someone where you are, you can maybe turn to them and sing, I will not let you down.
Come as you are, I will not let you go. You've been spinning around, no feet on the ground, feeling cold. You hold deep, deep seas. Your rain and dust, wild and free. But the weight of the world keeps dragging you, girl, to rivers. Oh, you've been falling where the dark smooth flows, far away from peace. Every day, every night, I will be by your side. Right into my arms. I tell you now, even when you're falling, where the dark's fully frozen, far away from peace, every day, every night I will be by your side, falling right into my arms. Ooh, this is so dangerous.
Normally I'm the one hitting Shantea, but getting my own back.
So the next song that we're going to play for you is a brand new one, and we haven't played it much at all. It's still kind of work in progress, but we want to share it with you tonight. And what does it say?
We've got some messages coming through.
Yeah, we can't see the messages, so we're a bit worried. I hope it's all good. But yeah, anyway, this song we wrote on our recent tour. We did a tour just before the lockdown started. We're so lucky that we just squeezed in our overseas section anyway before everything started to cancel. And we went to Canada, and we wrote this next song about a powerful evening that we spent just outside of Quebec City. It was February, so very, very cold winter time.
Minus 24?
Oh,
Was it?
minus 22 was our
minus
coldest
22.
day.
Okay.
We're very proud to have lived through that. But this day wasn't so cold, but it was very magical, and it was a full moon, and we went snowshoeing for the first time in the forest at midnight. And because it was full moon, the light from the moon would reflect off the snow, and it was so bright that you didn't need any torches or anything. And we walked to the river, and there were big, massive, like sculptures of ice, just chunks of ice floating down the river on this very strong current and through the forest. And it was just, yeah, a really magical evening. So this song came out of it, and it's called By Moonlight.
Ready? Like the snow neath our feet, walk to riverside, frozen nights flowing. Warm stories of a lone white wolf wise, like I know you would. Oh, I know you would. Proud, like I know you should be. Proud, by the moon, by the stars, we won't go falling. No, they've been calling, oh, and the stars take me home. Oh, a clear night, center sweeter in the trees. The serenity is around you, folk home maple leaves. With the courage of wild coyote, you howl at the moon and the clear. Howl and embrace the release. Stand proud by the moon, by the stars. We won't go falling, no, they've been calling, oh, and the stars take me home. By the moon, by the stars, feet walked a riverside, frozen ice flowing. Warm stories of a lone white wolf wise, like I know you are. Oh, I know you are.
Thank you.
We just say thank you. We don't know what else to say. We actually have another new one on the list. We're being very brave tonight. I don't know why. This one is called Homeward. Sorry, there are messages and we're not sure if it's for us. But this one's called Homeward, and again, it's new. So if it's dodgy, you can... I mean, this is great. You can mute us if you need to. Like,
Yeah.
if it's really bad.
You can
we'll
just leave the computer and walk away, go get a cup of tea, and
No, but
No,
we'll
hopefully-
try and do it.
hopefully you don't need to do that.
Pardon?
That was me.
Oh. Okay, so it's called Homeward.
Can they?
Joe has a few capos here. This one's a partial capo. People often get very fascinated by it because it covers only some strings, and that can just change the tuning really quickly without you having to meddle
Spend a lot of time.
with the strings.
So it's called Homeward.
Said it 3 times.
Okay. Just in case you missed it.
Sewed cracks, leather skin, seam marks, paint us our skin out. Flames rise on water breaks to the heights. We all look now. We are homeward bound, my brother. There's nothing they can do now. We're amongst the
nothing they can do now. Yeah. Okay, so we have a couple more for you. This one,
It's called Kindred.
yes, and it's on our Kindred EP, funny enough. And it's about people coming together from all different walks of life as community and really appreciating the beauty of the natural world that we're so blessed to live in.
So yeah, we really appreciate being asked by Sydney Folk Festival to perform to you guys tonight. It's a really nice way to keep sharing and connecting, even though that it's been a tricky time for that in general. So yeah, we're really honoured to be a part of this.
We walked out through the fields that day, flooding waters couldn't hold our hearts down. We could feel autumn sun's warm rays break the clouds that once held them bound. Eventide ocean breeze, gold light fades to ebony. Gathered close, kindred folk call out. Darkest stars, sleeping eyes that day. Swollen waters could then make it and all down. Dreamy sea, carry us away to where our arms you and I. Grief gives way to grace. Eventide ocean breeze, gold light fades to ebony. Gather close, kindred folk call out. Eventide ocean breeze, gold light fades to ebony. Gather close, kindred folk call out. Come the waters come home, come the young, wide-eyed and free. Call the lost and the broken, gather beneath the great fig tree. Eventide ocean breeze, gold light fades to ebony. Gather close, kindred folk call out.
Okay, thank you. We have one more song. So thank you so much for joining us. This one Joe wrote in French, and it's a story about a man who goes to market one morning to buy his love some sweets, but he's very fussy. Nobody has the right thing until he gets to the very last stall, and they manage to tick all of his boxes. They're environmentally friendly, they're locally made, they're good for you, and they're delicious. So he buys 50 of them. But he has a very long and hot walk home, and he finds himself getting very weary and convinces himself he cannot go on unless he has just one sweet. But one turns to two, and two turns to three, And it's not long before he gets home and there's only one left and he has to explain himself. And I didn't mention we don't actually speak French. So apologies if anybody out there does.
Nous sommes très très désolés. It's actually inspired by some of Shantaya's gift buying habits. Those chocolate covered blueberries never actually reach her friends.
Well, it's the thought that counts. So
1, 2, 3, 4.
J'étais apporté de grands bonbons sans produits chimiques ni se raffinés à son nom. De la nourriture biologique, ce sont bons pour la santé écologique. J'étais apporté des bonbons.
Faisait beau, il n'y avait pas de nuages. Le matin, toute histoire con. Je suis allé au marché français pour t'acheter des bonbons. C'est grâce à une femme qui m'a dit:
Bonjour, voudriez-vous essayer mes produits?
non, je cherche quelque chose de reprécis, et ce n'est pas ici, mais je vous dis merci. J'ai marché pendant longtemps pour chercher des bonbons. Je n'avais pas de mercredi, de fromage, de cochon, j'avais certainement pas de poisson. Finalement, je suis arrivé au dernier état du marché. Tu n'en es pas remédié, on la vache. Oh mon Dieu, il y avait des bonbons parfaits.
J'étais apporté de grands bonbons sans produits chimiques ni se raffinés à son nom. De la nourriture biologique, ce sont bons pour la santé écologique. J'étais apporté des bonbons.
J'ai acheté 50 bonbons et commencé à rentrer chez nous pour te les présenter. Le soleil a été ordonnant ce que je suis
Très fatigué, oh là, il fait la canicule et je ne peux plus continuer.
je vais essayer un petit bonbon me sauver.
J'étais apporté de grands bonbons sans produits chimiques ni se raffinés à son nom. De la nourriture biologique, ce sont bons pour la santé écologique. J'étais apporté des bonbons. I bought a Lord. You know the sweets, the ones that you love. I bought a Lord. You know the sweets, the ones that we love. I bought a Lord. You know the sweets, the ones that I love. I ate a Lord. You know the sweets, now there's only one. I don't know where they've gone.
J'ai bougé les bonbons.
Je t'ai apporté de bonbons sans produits chimiques ni se raffinés à son nom. De la nourriture biologique, ce sont bons pour la santé écologique. Je t'ai apporté des bonbons. Je t'ai apporté un grand bonbon sans produits chimiques ni se raffinés à son nom. De la nourriture biologique, c'est bon pour la santé écologique. Je t'ai apporté un bonbon.
Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening and supporting live music. We really appreciate it. A massive thank you to Pam and Jane and Dale on sound and the rest of the Sydney Folk Festival team. It's been a real honour playing and sending our love out to people who have been in a tricky situation over these last few months. So, yeah, thank you.
enjoy the next two artists.
Hi there, Sage. Thank you so much. That was such a great opening set to our concert tonight. Absolutely wonderful. You weren't aware, but we know there was over 100 people tuning in and watching. There's lots of it's really fantastic, and it's so great to have everyone back together. In that last song, I was so taken aback to one time doing a gig in Noumea, not knowing any French and just saying reservoir for the whole trip. It was fantastic.
Great.
About
was-
a little in French, but maybe just in English. So this is the thing I'm really interested in. You know, we've been locked down and you guys are writing great songs. What have you been writing about while you've been locked down?
We've been, well, a lot of memories, I suppose, from, we had a really busy time adventuring and everything. Those Canadian songs that we sang tonight, there were a couple of new ones we put in the set. And from our time, our tour in Canada, we were kind of processing all of that, and songs about that were kind of coming out. Just reflecting, really. A lot of reflection has been happening in this quiet time.
We've also been converting a shipping container into a music studio so we can get in there hopefully soon and do some more recordings.
Well, it seems like you guys have got lots of instruments, so you're going to need those shipping containers. And you're on the road. How many instruments did you take?
Oh, we got very
A lot.
strong muscles. We took my floor tom, which comes apart. It's very good for traveling, so we could stack like all our leads and everything in it. Joe's bass
The
drum,
bass drum.
two
and-
guitars, which we actually screwed together so that it was like one item in the check-in for the airplane, so it was cheaper, and it was very heavy. And then percussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the cymbal and not.
Yeah,
Joe
we
has
did.
Oh, we did take the cymbal. Oh, I don't remember.
Well, I think the only thing you probably need to add is a little door in the back of that tom-tom. So in the middle of the gig, you could just open it up and take out a little refreshment.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
that would
sounds
be-
nice.
I know.
Right.
Thinking you could just bring in the hand sanitizer and just be COVID safe there. You could have all those things in the back of that tom-tom.
Ooh, good idea.
Now we have people listening tonight from Italy, from America, from all over Australia. And just while I have this chance, I just want to say to all those friends of ours down south, please stay safe. And I'm all over the country. It's so great to have people from everywhere. I'm sure in lounge rooms all over New South Wales and the world right now, people are giving you a huge round of applause, Sage, because it was just a wonderful gig. Very soon, I see in the green room just over there on the side, I can see two of my favourite musicians coming up, Kate Burke and Pete Wild. And they have a great set coming your way really soon. And just before we cut to Kate and Pete, we're going to hear a video from one of our opening acts last night, Kajafi. They're a terrific Sydney band playing traditional music with Ken, Fiona and James. And we can't thank you enough, Sage, and we can't thank everybody else who's tuning in enough. We really hope you enjoy the evening. Stay tuned now for Kajafi. Thanks.
Thank you.
Is written by a piper that we met about a year and a half ago who came out. His name is James Duncan Mackenzie, and he plays with a group called Breabach, who you might have seen at the National. Well, he also has a couple of solo albums and as a piper and a flute player, and this is a tune of his called The Stornoway Waltz.
guys. That was such a lovely set. I love hearing Kujafi, and I'm so excited about the next two acts coming up tonight. The next performer I have known for a very long time. It feels like 30 years, so maybe we met in preschool. She's always been amazing. She's always been incredible, and she's also teamed up with someone incredible. So we're so thrilled to be able to present to you tonight Kate Burke and some guests. I think number one coming up is Pete Wild. Over to you, Kate.
Thanks so much, Jane. This is a real treat for me. I mean, you know, what a crazy year, hey? I feel like I'm hanging out at a folk festival, which is fantastic. Thanks, Kujafi. Fantastic, just so wonderful. I'm going to start with one of my old favourites I learned from Dick Goggin. It's a song called Now Westland Winds. Now Westland winds and slaughtering guns bring autumn's pleasant weather. The moorcock springs on whirring wings, delights the blooming heather. Now waving grey and wild o'er the plain, delights the weary farmer, and the moon shines bright as I rode at night to muse upon my charmer. The partridge loves the fruitful grass, the plover loves the mountains, the woodcock haunts the lonely dells, soaring above the fountains. Through lofty groves the cushat roves, the path of man to shun it, the hazel bush o'erhangs the thrush, the spreading thorn, the linnet. Thus every kind their pleasure find, the savage and the tender. Some social join and leagues combine, some solitary wander. Avaunt away the cruel sway, tyrannic man's dominion, the sportsman's joy, the murdering cry, the fluttering gory pinion. The peggy dear, the evening's clear, thick flies the skin swallow. The sky is blue and fields in view, all fading green and yellow. Come, let us stray our gladsome way and view the charms of nature, the rustling corn, the fruited thorn, and every happy creature. We'll gently walk and sweetly talk till the silent moon shines clearly. I'll grasp thy waist and fondly pressed swear how love thee dearly. Not vernal showers to budding flowers, not autumn to the farmer, so dear can be as thou art to me, my fair, my lovely charmer. Thank you. I have a little mini audience with me tonight. Socially distanced, they are my family members, but I'm really glad to have them here. My brother James, my dad, my daughter Emily's on the couch, so if you hear some clapping, that's who that is. The next song I'll do is one that was written by the wonderful Michael Kennedy, who passed away a few years ago. And an album was made to celebrate his songs and to kind of make a record of some of the songs he wrote in his kind of final couple of years. And this song is just so beautiful. It's called Scarlet Robin. And the album actually features the wonderful Corinne Paulwart singing this one. And I was lucky enough to play guitar for that album. And I think this is the first time I've sung this song at a gig. But I regularly sing it to myself. And hopefully I remember it well. Usual tuning. It's quite a highly tuned, this one. It's capoed up to the, gosh, what is that? The 8th fret. It's kind of getting into crazy territory. So this song really celebrates scarlet robins, one of the most beautiful elusive birds. I lived in the goldfields in Victoria for a while, and I don't think I ever saw one, but Michael Kennedy did one day, and he wrote this song as a result. A flash of wing on a blue sky, a breast of delicate wildfire. The weight of day is carried away as ruby gives voice to sapphire. Time unwinds into the shrine of everything when you sing. A white-crowned, black-gowned, rare red delight, a trinity of melody, colour and flight, chases a grace from a forgotten place into the dance of daylight. Time unwinds into the shrine of everything when you sing. White is beauty in the tree, dressed in feathered finery, and you a trace of the maker's face. Oh, sing to me, sweet mystery.
flash of wing on a blue sky, a breast of delicate wildfire. The weight of day is carried away as ruby gives voice to sapphire. Time unwinds into the shrine of everything. Time unwinds into the shrine of everything when you sing, when you sing. Thank you. I admit I feel a bit nervous. It's been a bit of a quiet year for gigs. I'd like to invite wonderful Pete Wild to join me for one of his songs. Do you want to introduce this one, Pete?
Oh, well, hi. Yeah, this is a song I wrote about 3 years ago, and it's kind of a bit of a melancholic lullaby. As we kind of lived through the last summer, as the valley was ringed with fire, it felt kind of pertinent. Anyway, I'm renowned for my funny songs, and this isn't one of them.
Sleep sweet, breathe deep, sweet children. Don't fear your dreams, 'cause your future in my nightmares is enough for me. And every time I fill the tank and drive down the road, I take another little piece out of this landscape that you'll never know. So learn to tread lightly on this earth and open your hearts. The arguments you work through daily are training you for a bigger start. And every time I turn the tap on, make a cup of tea, I take another little piece out of this landscape that you'll never see. So rest your eyes, let tired sighs drift out into the night. I'm sorry and ashamed that our people didn't give you a better start. We indulge our pleasures to drown out the torment and turn all our faces away from the big storm that's brewing over the horizon that could blow us all away. So sleep sweet, breathe deep, sweet children. Don't fear your dreams, 'cause your future in is enough for me.
Thanks, Peggy.
No worries. I'll be back.
Oh, it's been a big year. That song really, yeah, gosh, you know, it's been a big year. It's a big time. So I'll do a song for you now. I mean, I think, you know, one of the features of 2020 is, as it kind of keeps rolling on, that we can't travel. You know, you really start to feel the distance from people overseas in particular. And been thinking about my good mate Andy Irvin a fair bit in the last couple of weeks, and thinking, you know, it's a long way from here to Ireland. Yeah, I hope we get to catch up soon. You know, oh dear, you've got to think. You know, get some nifty techno solutions going on for catching up with people, but sometimes it's just lovely to sit and play music. So, this song is one of his songs. It's called "The West Coast of Clare," and I heard this on a Planksty album years ago when I was first starting to play trad music, and I still think it's one of the most beautiful songs that I've come across. And I'll give it a bit of a go. Bit of a new arrangement here on my newly borrowed mandolin. Okay, so this is "The West Coast of Clare," Andy Irvin. And this song really, I mean, I just spent a few months on the west coast of Ireland, and it's easy to get nostalgic about it. And I've spent many times over the years really wanting to be back there and playing tunes and walking along the coast. And I'm sure that, you know, my craving for it is just a small amount of what a lot of people would be feeling right now. But it's still there. So, West Coast of Clare.
Sorrow and sadness, eternal spring. Memories I have of you won't leave me in peace. My mind is running back see you all around. The search for times past contains such sweet pain. I'll banish lonesome thoughts, but they'll return again.
Thanks, family. All right. We're doing pretty well time-wise. That's good. So I thought I might have a go at one of the songs that I recorded with Luke Plum last year. Well, I recorded it the year before, but we released it last year. Last year was a very different year. We had a a wonderful album launch at the National Folk Festival, and yeah, it's easy to get nostalgic about those things now. It's like, I was talking with people about what I miss the most at the moment, and I think festivals are the thing. It's just that kind of rambling, slight chaos and being surrounded by like-minded people and just, getting carried along in the flow of it all. So, hugely grateful for the many years of amazing national folk festivals, and also the Sydney Folk Festival last year was a real highlight. That was the inaugural one, and really looking forward to hopefully that kicking along again in future years in a format that can involve a bit of chaos and shoulder rubbing. This is lovely though. All right. Now, I, for many years, have sung ballads that go for, verses and verses and verses with lots of words. And this is one of those. It's worth giving you a slight synopsis of the story before I sing it, because then you can look forward to the highlights. This is a song called The Witch of the Westmoreland, which is by Archie Fisher. And it's about a knight who is wounded in battle, and he goes to look for the Witch of the Westmoreland to cure his wounds. And he takes his hare, his hound, his horse, and there's this owl that kind of hangs out with him the whole time and flies around. So go figure. It turns up occasionally. And anyway, they go on a bit of a mission. They come across the witch. She emerges from a lake, and of course, she's a beautiful lady. But as they get a bit closer, they realise she's actually a beautiful lady at the front and horse at the back. Bit of an interesting reveal. So, strangely enough, it doesn't really stop him spending the night with the beautiful lady. We'll skip through that bit fast, but he's cured, and he arises and she says, "Go forth, you are cured," and all is well. So at least there's a happy ending. Must have been a very strange dream someone had, I think. All right. Gotta get the right equipment. Here we go. This is The Witch of the Westmoreland. one to do for you tonight. Thank you so much for supporting the Sydney Folk Festival. Thank you for all the wonderful acts playing, and please stick around for James Fagan and Nancy Kerr. Like, just, if you haven't seen them before, you can't miss them, and you have seen them before, well, you know, they're amazing, and we miss them terribly. So it's great to be able to hang out on the screen. So this is our last song.
Thanks for having me, Kate. Is that a funny thing to say in your own house? Here's a song about losing your lover to the Mars One project. You got a one-way ticket out of this town. You've got a one-way ticket. That ship won't turn around. You've got a one-way ticket and there's no coming back. Oh no, I can't believe it's come to that. Hey diddle diddle, that dish will be my spoon. You've jumped over the cow and the moon. The signal's clear from your satellite. There's no way that I'll sleep tonight. And you're higher than mountains and the clouds roll beneath your feet, and the moon rotates daily around a home where we used to meet. Twinkle, twinkle, little red star, how I wonder how you really are. Up above, world so high, I just can't stop asking why. Big dark rock way down on me eclipsed my ability to see. The things were going much worse for you. Oh God, what did you have to go and do? And how could you be so generous, darling, and share your life with 10 billion souls and leave me here sitting, watching it all alone. You left green light behind. Now there's red light up ahead. When you said forever, you meant while we're in this world. That's not the same as until we're dead. I don't really mind you following your dreams, drifting away on Milky Way streams. It just feels awful and nothing like reality when it's broadcast on 24-hour TV. And you're higher than mountains and the clouds roll beneath your feet, and the moon rotates daily around a home where we used to meet. And how could you be
with 10 billion souls, and they'll leave me here sitting, watching it all alive.
Wow, that was so fantastic. Thanks so much, Kate. Thanks so much, Pete. It was just wonderful. You should see comments flying in. Just so lovely. Thank you so much. There's like applause all over the country, actually all over the world. Have you got a few minutes just to chat to us before you head off?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so first of all, Kate, what a hard year, huh?
Yeah.
And watching your Facebook post earlier in the year about the bushfires, and we were talking to Zena today from Cobargo, it's just heartbreaking. And those pictures you put up from your mum's back fence, they have stayed with me. And I just wanted to ask, how are the people of Candelo? How are you all getting on?
Yeah, I think we're going okay. Candelo wasn't hit by the fires, so there was some properties lost around like out of town, but not the actual town itself. So we're doing okay. Like, yeah, I think that, you know, just like, I was talking with Zena in another conference earlier in the week about how the trauma has been deferred in some ways because of COVID. What would usually happen is your community would go through a trauma and then get together, and we had all these events planned to, real kind of outlets of sharing stories, and none of that's happened yet. So
we did.
Hopefully we'll get a chance.
We were talking about all kinds of things with the Folk Federation, how we could best support people, and we came up with this. And then going straight out of the bushfires, I mean, part of your heart must be in Victoria, so it must be hurting right now for all your friends. So on behalf of the New South Wales Folk Federation, when you're talking to them, can you send them a big hug from us? We're sending love and support their way. We know they're doing it hard.
Absolutely. Look, I know quite a few of them are watching at the moment, or they've been watching the concert and they're tuning in for the next one. So, yeah.
See it on all there. Now, I just wanted to quickly talk to you. Congratulations about the new Graces. I mean, talk about three fab girls. Three of my favourites, all-time favourites. I've known them all for a long time. And what you don't know is one time Melanie Horsdale and I rode back from Tamworth together, and she all-time funniest story I have ever heard. So I think at your next New Graces gig, you should ask her to tell the story about the time she was playing the accordion doing an opera gig on a station, and some guy was dressed up as a cappuccino. It is a story where it's so great. I just think you should probably tell the audience what's been happening with the New Graces, because it seems to me that they're coming number one, and I think people want to know about that.
Sure. Well, I've been a folkie for my whole life. So, it's interesting. I was part of the trad scene, moved up here to Candelo, and Candelo is a great music hub. Lots of songwriters, played lots of music with Pete. We've done a duo album together. Candelo musicians have been collaborating for years and years and years. And Robin and Melanie and I started singing songs together over the years, definitely. But 2 years ago, we decided to sit down and actually work out an album's worth of material. And look, we just sat on Robin's veranda, rehearsed every week, and we thought, this feels really nice, And we ended up going and recording the album with Garth Porter, who is a big country music producer in Australia. Like, he's done Lee Kernaghan and Gina Jeffries and all the big names, which, was completely, it's not my universe, It was a really new experience. But we recorded the album in 3 days and kind of sat back, got the mixes back, great. Sent it out. We ended up getting a bit of distribution. But, I don't know. It was interesting. The album was released just at the start of COVID, and we haven't been able to tour it. But something seems to have resonated with audiences, and that album went out to a lot of country audiences on country radio, and somehow it's charted. It ended up at number one on the Australian country music charts, and
Well, we're super proud of you. We couldn't be happier. Today, I was listening to your live album, Live at St. Peter's. It's fantastic. And if people don't have all of your stuff, they just need to pop to the website and get both Pete and Kate. Kate, you said before that you were really missing festivals. I was missing festivals too. And I thought I need to reconnect with my folk community. So I joined the New South Wales Folk Federation and we put on this amazing festival. And so I would recommend that to other people as well. It's a really great team. We've got Pam Merrigan as the president, Margaret Walters, I mean, she's incredible, Dallas Baxter, the backbone, Pam Davies, Russell, Terry, Alex and myself. What a team. It's incredible. And we're planning exciting things for you next year, including getting anniversary hip flasks for our 50th anniversary around the festival. We have great plans in store for you. Thank you so much for this amazing gig and all the things that you're doing to support, you know, people in your area and to support us by playing music, basically. Every time we tune in, we're really grateful.
Oh, look, we're so grateful. Thank you so much for putting this on. Thanks to you and Pam and to Dale for great sound and everything. So looking forward to the next gig. We'll be staying online.
Hey, thanks so much. And now, everyone, just before we get on to our last act of the concert tonight, they're in the green room warming up. They're actually almost ready. They're coming to us via a big Zoom from Sheffield in England. That's James and Nancy. And just while we bring them into their room, we're going to hear from our Youth Award winner, Felicity Dowd. She performed earlier today. She's an absolute star in the making. She's also from the South Coast. And so we really hope you enjoy Felicity.
Red's the color of the sky, cold in the countryside. Praise the face of a man who lost his house and land. The world's gone up in flames. They tell us that we're still safe. But how do we sleep at night when Mother Nature's losing this fight? 'Cause we want blue skies, but we need rain. We can't face another fire or raging hurricane. For so long we're fighting drought. Next the floods take over and we lose the whole damn town. Ooh, houses we built up in rows are knocked down like dominoes. What was once a gentle breeze blows apart our families. When the water left the beach, Mother Earth quaked beneath our feet. Disaster struck again, her bittersweet revenge. 'Cause we want blue skies, but we need rain. We can't face another fire or raging hurricane. For so long we're fighting drought. Next the floods take over and we lose the whole damn town. She will still be here when we're long gone, like she was all along. Ooh, ooh, ooh. 'Cause we want blue skies, we need rain. We can't face another fire or raging hurricane. We want blue skies, but we need rain. We can't face another fire or raging hurricane. For so long we're fighting drought. Next nature's losing this fight.
Oh, hi there, everybody. Wasn't that so great to hear Felicity? I really hope that you really enjoyed our youth acts today. And if you know young people coming through the folk community, we'd really like it if you'd encourage them next year to get involved in applying for the Folk Youth Awards. Coming up next, I can see them in the green room. They've never looked better. I don't know what is they're doing. I mean, seriously, these two, they sound better every year and they look better every year. I feel like they're ready to go because they're actually, smiling at my jokes in the green room right now. It's so great to see you both. I'm going to hand over to James and Nancy. Put your hands together at home.
Thank you all.
Hi.
Well, we hope you can hear us. We've been standing by and we're waiting for our sound man to come online, but we just have to assume. So, Jane, if you can hear us, can you give us a wave? Great. Well, we'll just plough straight in. Hello, everybody. We are so delighted to be here at the Sydney Folk Festival at home. We wish we could be with you in person, but next best thing for now. Thanks, Kate and Pete, for a lovely set. So we're going to kick off for you right away.
Well, away, my love, away, for we're sailing home today on a boat called Memory. Hey, oh, hearts that long for the land. Oh, she's like some Persian queen with her opal robe serene in the lamplight shimmering. Hey, oh, hearts that long for the land on a blue jay morning, feathering thorny memories. Hey, oh, hearts have been too long away on a well-worn byway, travelling magpie gathering. Farewell, Queen of Waters. Well, it's hard to roll in mirth when your feet don't touch the earth and the wolf comes hungering. Hey, oh, hearts that long for the land. Folly never foots the bill, and we all shall pay in full for a life of melody. Hey, oh, hearts that long for the land on a blue jay morning, feathering thorny memories. Hey, oh, hearts have been too long away on a well-worn byway, travelling magpie gathering. Farewell, Queen of Waters. Well, I should have sowed my corn, but I danced until the dawn like an ant grasshoppering. Hey, hearts that long for the land. Oh, there must be better ways for to keep the debts at bay and the whiskey trickling. Hey, hearts that long for the land on a blue jay morning, feathering thorny memories. Hey, hearts have been too long away on a well-worn byway, travelling magpie gathering. Farewell, Queen of Waters. So we'll bid our ship adieu. There's a mooring in the blue where the gulls are gathering. Hey, oh, hearts that long for the land. Oh, she's like some Persian queen, and her like will ne'er be seen, only in our reverie. Hey, oh, hearts that long for the land on a blue jay morning, feathering thorny memories. Hey, oh, hearts have been too long away on a well-worn byway, travelling magpie gathering. Farewell, Queen of Waters, on a blue jay morning, feathering thorny memories. Hey, hearts have been too long away on a well-worn byway, travelling magpie gathering. Farewell,
Thank you very
Thanks,
much,
everyone.
everybody.
Can you hear us okay? You all there? Right.
Goodo. I was just saying to Tom before, our sound guy, who's in another city altogether to us here in Sheffield, and you're all there. A lot of you are there in Sydney. That waiting to come on then with all these screens and things set up, knowing that we're broadcasting to you across the world. It was a bit like those two guys waiting to be launched into space on SpaceX. That's how it felt.
It's exactly like that,
here we
James.
are.
Not a bit like that. It's
Yeah.
literally exactly the same as that.
Just the same. Well, when we were asked by Pam Merrigan to do this Sydney Folk Festival, we were absolutely thrilled and delighted. Sydney is my hometown, and so I've picked songs that I still sing to this day because they remind me of being there. And this is a song by my dear late friend Jimmy Gregory, and I often sing this song to remind me of being at home, being in Sydney, which is ironic because Jimmy wrote it to remind him of being back in Glasgow. It's a lovely song called The Waters of the Clyde. And if you know it and you're singing along at home there, please give it some. We can't hear you right now, but we know you're there and we know you're singing. So the chorus is, may the wind that blows around these docks never bring you sorrow or grief. May the happiness flow like the tide below, wherever you may be.
Rain came down on a sad old town as through the streets I walked in silence past the old shipyard and down along the docks where once the work of many men so gracefully did glide. Now towering cranes stare silently on the waters of the Clyde. Freighter's horn from across the bank came sounding on the wind, like some old song from a time long gone, as the breeze blew all around. I was thinking then of ships and men and dreams carried on the tide, and the hours I spent with friends content by the waters of the Clyde. May the wind that blows around these docks never bring you sorrow nor grief. May happiness flow like the tide below, wherever you may be. Walking home in the evening light along the old dockside, I look back on the town where I was born, to the noise and to the lights, where the quiet ghosts of childhood streets still haunt the pale twilight. And I felt so sad just standing there by the waters of the Clyde. May the wind that blows around these docks never bring you sorrow nor grief. May happiness flow like the tide below, wherever you may be. chill of dawn, while the tide, it was still dancing. Birds in the trees were singing in the breeze, and the rain was gently falling. And now and then I think on when I walked the old dark side, and the hours I spent with friends content by the waters of the Clyde. May the wind that blows around these docks never bring you sorrow nor grief. May your happiness flow like the tide below, wherever you may be. And may the wind that blows around these docks never bring you sorrow nor grief. May your happiness flow like the tide below, wherever you may be. Wherever you may be. Wherever you may be.
Jimmy Gregory, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Well, we hope you're doing okay there in these strange times. It's certainly a delight to be able to sing live for you. It's so different to just recording things ahead of schedule and then sending them out all perfect and edited. It's really lovely to actually know that you're watching us right now across the world. Very special indeed. So thank you again.
Our first 3 songs all have the word water in the title. So we had Queen of Waters, which is a song that I wrote for our narrowboat that we lived on for about a dozen years in England. And then that was Waters of the Clyde. And this is Fragile Water. This is a song from an album that I made called Instar, which are all nature songs. I'd like to sing this especially for my niece Ruby, who's got her birthday coming up very soon.
Tomorrow.
So this is just for you.
She's 10 tomorrow.
So this is all about fish and metamorphosis. I know fish don't metamorphose, strictly speaking, but for the art, we'll say. This is Fragile Water. I am a man upon the land, cold and slender as a secret river, and glamour folds within my hand like a salmon skin of beaten silver. My little fish, slip off your skin and leave it in the tide for gulls to plunder. And if you wish to walk or swim, let there be nothing in the world to hinder. I cannot walk among your kin, for after water land seems so much harder. But I will fall from wandering to land on beaten sand and fragile water. My little fish, slip off your skin and leave it in the tide for gulls to plunder. And if you wish to walk or swim, let there be nothing in the world to hinder. There are other gifts than silver, like another word for lover. If we only hold each other, we are beaten sand and fragile water. ocean will bleach our bones. You know the burning sun will melt the boulders. Don't mourn my shadow among the stones, though after winter spring seems somehow colder. But as the ocean courts the strand, till he becomes the grit that surges in her, so generations may understand. We are all beaten sand and fragile water. My little fish, slip off your skin and leave it in the tide for gulls to plunder. And if you wish to walk or swim, let there be nothing in the world to hinder. My little fish, slip off your skin and leave it in the tide for gulls to plunder. And if you wish to walk or swim, let there be nothing in the world to hinder. There are other gifts than silver, like another word for lover, if we only hold each other. We are beaten sand and fragile water. There are other gifts than silver, like another word for lover, if we only hold each other. We are beaten sand and fragile water. We are beaten sand and fragile water.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. That was Fragile Water.
Well, we've got a lot to squeeze in, so we're going to do shortish introductions, which is difficult for us sometimes, but we'll give it a go.
I don't find it that difficult.
Well, okay. I find it difficult. Short introduction to Sons of Liberty. This is a song by Alistair Hewlett, a musician I associate heavily with Sydney, because when I was growing up in Australia, Alistair lived in Newtown and was a regular fixture at the Sando, the Sandringham Hotel, where I saw him playing many a time with Jimmy Gregory and with Roaring Jack as well. This is a song he wrote called The Sons of Liberty, and I was singing it especially for my dad, Bob Fagan, who wanted us to name the record we put this on after a line from this song. You know, you often get the title of a song out of the lyric, and the title Dad suggested was, with capital and clergy, the landlords did conspire to dispossess the poor and raise the nation's profits higher, by Nancy Kerr and James Fagan.
British flag at the moment, actually. I think that's our new, new motto.
So here is the history in a few verses of the convicts who went on to become bushrangers, the Sons of Liberty.
Come gather round me, lucky lads, and listen to me song. I'll sing about the days when the colony was young, how the men of property betrayed the labouring class with the transportation system, aye, and how it came to pass. Historians may tell you how the convict maids and men were dredges of society and fit to be condemned. But let the truth be spoken, they were victims of the blight, forced by cruel laws to steal what should have been their right. Improvement was the catchword, it was ringing through the land, and industry was gearing up to meet the great demand. New methods of production and new ways to cut the cost. If you couldn't run the race, then on the slack heap you were tossed. With capital and clergy, the landlords did did conspire to dispossess the poor and raise the nation's profits higher. They drove them in their thousands from the glens and from the dales into wooden hulks and shipped them off to New South Wales. Come all you sons of liberty, together raise your voice, stand up and sing the praises of the wild colonial boys, who would not bend to slavery nor kiss a hand of fate when the chips were down. They stood their ground and they did retaliate. Them at the flogging post, well, they yoked them to the plough. Such treatment, plain to tell, would no decency allow. Men and women, boys and girls from honest working stock, condemned for nothing more than being the black sheep of the flock. But some of firmer metal from the tyrants got away. Jack Doolan and Jack Donahue, Jim Jones of Botany Bay, they gave the law a fair return for the treatment they'd received. And the spirit of resistance is the legacy they leave. Come all you sons of liberty, together raise your voice, stand up and sing the praises of the wild colonial boys, who would not bend to slavery nor kiss the hand of fate when the chips were down. They stood their ground and they did retaliate. The exploits of those ranging lads, well, they were known to one and all. In shearing shed and shanty, they wondered at their goal. And many were the convict lads who died beneath the whip, with the cry, remember Donahue, still sounding on their lips. And though their days are over, they'll never be forgot. They fought until they fell before they faced the hangman's heart. And now whenever folks meet to sing the old bush songs, he vowed to speak the names of Doolan, Donahue and Jones. Come all you sons of liberty, together raise your voice, stand up and sing the praises of the wild colonial boys, who would not bend to slavery nor kiss the hand of fate when the chips were down. They stood their ground and they did retaliate. They stood their ground and they did retaliate.
Good old Alistair Hewlett. Thank
Ali
you,
Hewlett.
Ali. It's been a while since we did that one.
Has been a while.
I was working on muscle memory there. I'm sure you were too.
Sounded great.
I reckon we should maybe do a tune.
Yes, we'll do some tunes. You want to introduce them? And I'll
Yeah, lovely. So these are tunes that I very much associate with Sydney. They are Macedonian tunes or of that kind of style. The first one is called Snosti Sakav Dati Dojdem, and I remember learning it with Kate Fagan from Lindsay Pollock's Macedonian tune book, I believe. Snosti Sakav Dati Dojdem is actually a song. You find it all over Eastern Europe, and it means the thing that I am wishing for. Then we'll play Kate Fagan's tune, Kitchen Dance, and then we'll play another song, this time from
I think it's Slovakian, I can't remember. It's called Jovana Jovanka, again, a very popular song and dance tune. So, yeah, and you wanted to dedicate
Croatian,
these.
I think it is.
It's Croatian, I'm so sorry, yes it is.
I want to dedicate these to the memory of Guy Madigan, who sadly passed away. A great force of nature, one of the biggest smiles you ever saw. A great percussionist who was the backbone of the sound of Sirocco for so many years, and we're very sad to hear that he passed away. So we'll do this for the friends and fans and family of Guy Madigan. So here is the 7/8 set, as we call it.
Just give me a D for a sec.
Thank
Thank you all. Thank you all. For Guy.
How are we doing time-wise?
Good.
Can I do a song?
Please do.
So I wanted to do a traditional song because we haven't done one of them yet. And this is a song I've been singing for a long time. This is my version. Well, not really my version. It's a version that I've been singing for a long time of Barbara Allen. This is a gypsy, a British kind of Romany version of it from a woman called Queen Caroline Hughes. And I'm particularly enjoying singing this at the moment because I've just got, or we, the people that I work with at the conservatoire that I teach at now, have just had our first lot of graduates, the first English graduates of a folk conservatoire course have just graduated, and the ones that I've been teaching are some of the most brilliant singers I've ever met. They've been brilliant, and the first week that I taught them 3 years ago when I got my first lot of students on that course, I taught every one of my singing students a version of this song, because there are so many versions of Barbara Allen, you could teach them to everyone and not run out of them almost. I always think of them when I sing this. It's from the south of England. It's from down in Dorset. In Reading town, where I was born, there's a fair young maid a dwelling. I picked her out for to be me bride, and her name was Barbary Allen. Her name was Barbary Allen. Oh, mother dear, go make my bed, go make it soft and narrow, for I shall die for the love of her, and she will die for sorrow, sorrow, and she will die for sorrow. Oh, mother dear, look beside my bed, you'll see her bowl is standing. It's full of tears I have shed this night for the love of Barbary Allen, the love of Barbary Allen. Oh, mother dear, look above my head, you'll see her gold watch hanging. There's my gold watch and me guinea gold ring. Take them to Barbary Allen, take them to Barbary Allen. Slowly she stood by it, and all she said when there she came was, young man, I think you're dying, dying. Young man, I think you're dying. Well, as I was walking across the plain, I saw his corpse coming. Come, set him down by his 6 young lads, that I may soon gaze on him, on him. On him. So strolled I walked on, I heard the knell a-telling, and as it told, it seemed to say, hard-hearted Barbary Allen, hard-hearted Barbary Allen. To be me bride, and her name was Barbary Allen, her name was Barbary Allen. you. Thanks to my mum. I learnt that from my mum, Sandra. So thanks, Mum, for that version. Oh, it's lovely singing for you. Thanks very much. I think we've got time for a couple more, and we'd like to sing a song that we sing partly because of Roy Bailey, who is one of our very much missed friends and influences, and I know that Sydney shares that with us. So yeah, we're going to do a song that we recorded on our live album, and the reason we recorded it on our live album was because Roy Bailey had just passed away just literally a few days before, and he was so in our thoughts we sort of couldn't not do a song of his. But it also is one of those songs that never stops being really, if not topical in terms of the exact story, then the common idea is still very much there.
Indeed. This is a brilliant song by Rob Johnson, still going well and writing all the time down in Hove near Brighton. And Rob Johnson was one of the writers that Roy championed in his life. Roy Bailey from Sheffield, just about a mile or two, lived up that way. That way.
Over there.
Yeah, sort of over there.
It's over there.
And we'll sing this for his memory and for you.
The sun goes down now across the sea. We're homeward bound now and on the duty free. The harbour's quiet, the kids asleep, tired out from Europe on the cheap. There are no poor now, we all have cars. They're parked down below now, where we took off the stars. On television, if not the sky. When the ocean moves us, we don't ask why. We feel a ship slip from the bottom of the land. We hope our trip went just like we planned. We see the light along the shore, but not the overworked crew and not the open door. And in the cruel dark sea, our lives go down. In Zeebrugge harbour, all night we drown. And now the owners grow old, while we die young, with the blue murder stuck in our lungs. And the ship we sail, and the flag she flies, it is the herald of free enterprise. Yes, the ship we sail, and the flag she flies, it is the herald of free enterprise. Now you can salvage a ship up from the bottom of the sea, recycle pop stars to sing Let It Be, sell lorries for scrap, whitewash the company, but you can make no more money out of me. And each life lost, much loved, much missed, where all of our names on some passenger list. Well, it's too late for Mayday, we sink too fast when the profits come first and people's losses come last. And the ship we sail, and the flag she flies, it is the herald of free enterprise. And the ship we sail, and the flag she flies, it is the herald of free enterprise. Sing it at home. And the ship we sail, and the flag she flies, of free enterprise.
Thanks very much.
Thank you,
Well
Rob
sung,
Johnson,
everyone
like
at
that.
home, wherever you may be.
Last one. I
Last
think.
one.
I just want to say a massive thank you. Well, lots of people, but do you want to thank Tom while I just get in tune?
I do, of course. One of the daunting things for all of us, and we congratulate Sydney Folk Festival for having a go at this because it's new territory for everyone, and there's so many factors involved in bringing this music to you live. Eventually, Nancy and I may know how to do all of the sound ourselves, but actually that puts sound people out of work, and sound people and technical people have been just as affected by this as musicians. So we really wanted to involve our friend Tom Stanier, and we'd like you to all give a virtual thanks wherever you are for the sound, which has been being done from County Durham and coming all the way to you wherever you are.
Tom and James, it takes a long time. I feel like we've been kind of working on this little bit of music for about a week. So
It's very good to get
I
an
know we're not
insight
alone.
into what goes on behind the scenes,
It
to be
is.
honest. Instead
It's-
of just wondering why there aren't fresh towels in the green room.
Lilies and puppies, that's what I used to have in my dressing room. It's exactly 5 months to the day since we last did our a live gig in a venue. It was in a great venue in London called the King's Place. And what we were really, really aware of at that point was exactly what James said, how this, it was everything, every part of the industry was suddenly under massive threat. So we are so grateful to all the people who are supporting us and helping us to keep playing and keep putting gigs on in lots of different ways. So thank you to all of you for being part of that, for all the areas of music that you love. It's quite overwhelming how people have stayed kind of true to supporting it. So that's wonderful. Thank you. So we will leave you with another watery song. This is called Broadside, and it's a song I wrote for a project a few years ago now called the Elizabethan Session, and it's about two kind of powerful women meeting. One of them is Elizabeth I, and one of them is Grace O'Malley, or Gronewale, who's an Irish pirate queen. And it's a kind of feminist sea shanty, because you can't have too many of them.
You cannot indeed.
Or any so far, potentially.
Thank you again. Thank you also to Jane for emceeing, and to Pam Merrigan and all of her team for putting this on. And I'd like to sing this especially for Jeremy Spinks, my best mate from high school, who's watching in Baulkham Hills, and used to wear a pirate shirt for most of the 1980s, so he'd relate to this one. Yeah.
Perfect.
See you all,
Thank you.
everybody.
This is Broadside. We'll
Take
leave you
care
with
out
this.
there.
Keep your land, you gentry of England, France and Spain, for there's nothing like dominion of the water. From the rocky coast of Kerry to the bloody Spanish Main, it's the best thing you can ever teach a daughter. Broadside, two captains collide, queen of the spheres and queen of the tide. Regalia and rebellion go sailing side by side, all away, sister, all away. London men for treasure and never heed their blows, for there's nothing given freely to a woman. Be generous to friendship and lavish to your foes, then pirate queens may share the seas in common. Broadside, two captains collide, queen of the spheres and queen of the tide. Regalia and rebellion go sailing side by side, all away, sister, all away. For she'll make you weary and marriage make a slave. You do better on the sea like brave O'Malley. And when that gallant vessel goes a-rolling on the wave, be sure you're on the deck, not in the galley. Broadside, two captains collide, queen of the spheres and queen of the tide. Regalia and rebellion go sailing side by side, all away, sister, all away. Broadside, two captains collide, queen of the spheres and queen the tide. Regalia and rebellion go sailing side by side all the way. Sister, all the way, sister, all the way.
Yay!
Thank you, everybody.
Our children.
Oh, wow. Thanks, guys. That was so...
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for having us.
Can you hear us? It was such a pleasure. I'm telling you, there are hundreds of people tuned in tonight watching this. We
Great.
know that there was over people on YouTube, but there was many people with big rooms of people. Just the comments are great. Like there was
Well,
one comment
hello
that
to
said
all
this,
of you.
somebody said this is the first time I've felt happiness this year.
Oh, well, bless
What
you.
a-
And all our songs are so depressing. It's amazing, isn't it? That's folk music for you. That's the power. We can wallow, but we can cathart as well.
Thank you to that person for that comment, because one of the things we miss as performers is feeling connection with people and feeling that we're improving people's days. You know, if someone walks out of a show and says, I feel better than when I came in, that's so worthwhile.
Yeah,
so
it
we're
is.
really happy about
Yeah.
that. Thanks.
So James, and we're going to put up a little link to your Facebook page in a little while so that people can see how to get a hold of your stuff. We know you've got really
Thank you.
exciting projects. Nancy, what are you working on lockdown? That sounds incredible.
Yeah, it's been really busy throughout. I think there was a bit of a sort of moment, first of all, where we literally didn't know what to do, like lots of people. And then the ideas started to come of what could still be done. So we've done quite a lot. I'm about to put out next month the first of 3 EPs and then an album with a new band called Magpie Arc, which is Martin Simpson, myself, Adam Holmes from Edinburgh, and Alex Hunter, and Tom Wright, who is the drummer and producer that I work with lots. So we've got this new lovely band to look forward to kind of putting stuff out with. So yeah.
The other thing we did in lockdown is Nancy thought it was time to honour the work of Leon Rosselson, who is Nancy's favourite songwriter, an English political writer who's still going strong in his 80s. And we decided that we needed something to do. So I took on the job of filmmaker, and Nancy recorded a new version of a Leon Rosselson song every day for the entirety of May.
Yeah, so I did 32 songs, and I still didn't run out of songs that I wanted to sing. You know, his work is so brilliant. If you
That's
don't
all
know
available.
it, you should look
It's
it up.
all available on Nancy's website.
So that, yeah.
YouTube page,
YouTube,
which is
yeah.
Nancy Kerr Music. And if you're interested in Leon's writing, there's such a great sample there from Nancy with new arrangements.
I'm going to do a record of that quite soon, actually.
Yeah.
Again, next month I'll be recording that as a thing people can have. So, yeah, I don't know, I've said this many times during lockdown, but I don't know any, musicians like us, self-employed, kind of doing a mixture of things. It's not in our nature to do nothing. So I think, that's the happiness out of it is that we all still want to play. It's just working out how to make that accessible to people and how to make it ultimately
We've also made our
survive.
recent CDs more accessible to people as well because of postage delays and difficulties. We are still posting. We're posting to Australia, but you can now, for the first time, you can get our music through Bandcamp as well. So if people want to look up our name on Bandcamp, they can get Nancy's first solo album and also our out-of-print album, Twice Reflected Sun, which starts with Queen of Water. So that's big as well. Getting our heads around the digital age and how to get our music out to people has been really big too. And also just spending time with the kids. And unfortunately, we didn't have time to involve them today. But next time we do a show for you in Sydney, we'll get the kids to sing Hamish and Harry because they are really enjoying performing. And we've done a lot of music with them in lockdown, Jane. That's been a big factor in lockdown,
Great.
keeping us going.
We're so excited about that. I mean, we're really pushing hard for our young youth at SID Australia, and watching all the things that you're doing, teaching in the UK. It's so exciting. I hope when we get our folk music university courses going in Australia, you guys come back for a semester.
Yeah,
We
that
would be delighted.
What a great idea,
Yeah.
because it's so interesting. We're looking at ways at the moment of teaching folk music, but teach it in a really global way, so that you look at actually maybe some aspects of like vernacular folk music from all over the world and how much we have in common between those. And then within that, you can still teach all of those individual traditions. So it's a really exciting time, that kind of decolonisation of teaching folk music, but still transmitting it so that young people, and not just young people, but the new people are being able to study it and the songs and the tunes and stuff. Fingers crossed, it's a pretty exciting time here, even though it is such a difficult time and, students don't know how it's gonna progress. But culturally, you can't go wrong. It's such good stuff. The music is such good stuff and it's not going anywhere, so that's good.
Well, James and Nancy, we've all had that experience of being the oldest person in the Herschel.
Oh, yes.
Particular, I look around that session and think, where did they all come from? I'm so old. All like
Me too, I know.
We missed the Herschel. We have not been down there for a little while, but
This is
Tom
like-
King still going strong.
Great session, great.
to be away from them. Well, listen, guys, we've got to wrap it up. Just before we do, there have been so many people worked on this concert tonight, and the performers were incredible. We heard from Sage, we heard from Kate, we heard from Pete, Nancy and James. It's just been amazing. I really want to thank the audience. You have been incredible. The comments have just warmed my heart. There was a little moment where I actually got quite teary reading the comments because it was so moving to connect to people again after we've been locked up.
Yeah.
And to all of those friends of ours who are still locked down hard, we're with you. We're with you in spirit. We are going to party hard at our next festival. I'm telling you.
Oh, yes,
Our
absolutely.
heels.
Absolutely.
We can't wait. We're planning great things. I just want to thank two people. Tom in Durham doing sound.
Hey, Tom. Thank you, Tom.
We can see him, but he's way up in the north and he's doing sound, and you guys are in Sheffield. I mean, James, have the British people stopped asking if you've returned to the scene of the crime yet?
Time off for good behaviour.
They never stop reminding me, Jane.
I got that a lot. Everyone thought I was a convict when I lived there.
I know.
No, I'll never live that down.
And I really want to thank Dale, who has just done an amazing job putting this all together.
Thank you, Dale, wherever you are, somewhere in one of these boxes. Thanks, Dale.
And now we're going to kick back. Dale's going to end the night so you can finish off your drink at home and just review all the great artists we've seen at the Sydney Folk Festival so far this year. Thanks for tuning, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. We've got a poets breakfast. We've got a parody event. Actually, it's a poets brunch tomorrow, much more civilised than the And we've got a parody event with hosted by the Illawarra Folk Club, and then our closing concert tomorrow. 3 great acts again. You're spoilt for choice, everyone. Please tune in, and we'll see you again soon. Good night.
Good night.